I'm developing a game with samurai, and I've added some elemental enemies to it. Before making any new enemies, I wanted to make my AI code better. Currently, adding new enemies would be quite difficult. So, as Obrook suggested, I tried making behavior trees. However, it worked a little weird. You see, I was using state machines before, meaning I could easily tell the AI what it should do, like move, idle, be stunned, or chase. But with a behavior tree, the AI has to ask, am I stunned every single frame? Before I could just bonk, you're stunned. So I decided to make use of both state machines and behavior trees. Now, all of the combat logic is in a tree, and basic stuff is still in states. With that sorted, I wanted to try something out. Well, that was a mistake. Anyway, next thing I did was give the bean some hands, and damn, the bean got hands. Now, it was time to make the first elemental variant, Fire Samurai. So, using my imagination and a reference, I came up with a skull design for the mask. Now, I just need to give him a weapon. So, I made the existing katana a bit red. Now, I just make the animations and put him in the game. As cool as his buggy attack is, he needs some abilities. So, let's make an entire ability system. Right. After some trial and error, I started making the first ability, Fire Buff. It's as simple as it sounds, and it works. Oh, right. Abilities need effects. I could draw some fire sprites, or I could use shaders, so I combined a bunch of noise layers and got this. Now, just make it into a shape of the katana, and the fire buff is complete. On to the second ability. For this combo ability, I wanted to make the enemy slightly dash towards you whilst attacking, instead of just standing still. Some fire trails completed the looks, and now on to the sounds. A buff sound, swoosh sounds, and a sound when you're burning. And the Fire Samurai was complete. So, time to make our next contender. Fire Ninja. Making the Fire Ninja took a bit longer. I had some questionable results at first, but I woke up the next morning and made some simple changes. Then I rigged up the Fire Ninja and started animating. After that, I made a shuriken and a firebomb. Time to put it all into the game. But I had an issue. You see, last time the ninja enemy was just a reskin with less health. So now I need to establish what the base ninja actually does. So I started with giving ninjas a dash when using melee, and I gave ninja the ability to throw shurikens. Now I could start making the fire ninja specifics, like a firebomb. And just like that, the fire ninja was complete. On to the water variants. I started modeling the water samurai with no real direction, just a bit here and there, but one thing I wanted for sure was scale armor. Some more details later and the water samurai was complete. For the weapon, I made a naginata. It's a polearm type weapon. After making animations, I brought the samurai to the game. Now, how does one make water effects? I had no clue at first, but this tutorial explained everything very well. Basically, I draw a weird looking texture and use a shader with a step node, and that's it. Now the particles look animated and like they're actually liquid. Some more messing around and I had all of the effects. On to the sounds. I got a bunch of water samples and combined them to get some cool sound effects. Finally, I added a doused status effect.
What? Dude, you're literally dripping.
Thanks.
No.
And just like that, the water samurai was complete. He can do a water splash and buff his allies. Water Ninja was up next. I made the mask inspired by Namazu, the catfish who causes earthquakes. Then I made some clothes for the ninja and started messing around with fins for some reason. The weapon of this ninja will be 2 wakizashi, a short katana-like sword. For the melee strike, I decided to give him a combo attack. Since this is a water enemy, he also buffs his allies. With most of the systems already set up, adding the water ninja was really quick. And with that, the 2 water variants were complete. Before making anything else, I swapped out the default icons for my systems for custom ones. This makes working on abilities much smoother. The next enemy I made was the Earth Samurai. Making the mask for this one took a while. It really didn't look all that threatening at first. Looked kind of cute even. After a while, I managed to pin down a good looking design. Grr. All that was left was the rest of the armor. At first, I made some slick, simple armor, but after getting some feedback, I made the armor bulkier and have rougher edges. The weapon of choice for this samurai would be a kanabo, a mace with metal bits. After animating him, I brought him in the game and started making the VFX. After making some ground spike, which took a very long time to make, and a shockwave effect, I went on to sound design. With that done, the Earth Samurai was complete. Next up was the Earth Ninja. This ninja would be armored unlike all the other ninja. For the weapon, I decided to carve out a rock katana. After making some animations, I put the Earth Ninja in the game. This guy is mostly ranged, throwing rocks and spikes at you. After tweaking the projectile ability, I went on to make some sound effects. And with that, the Earth Ninja was complete. Before making the last 2 enemy variants, I decided to make a new environment, cause this flat plane ain't looking too great. So I started sculpting some terrain, placing cliffs, modeling some rocks and more foliage. For the flowers, I used vertex colors as masks, so with a custom shader, I could swap each of the RGB values for any color I wanted. I also used vertex colors to paint in ambient occlusion. The last foliage piece I made was a green tree, which looks kinda weird. Now I just threw together all of these models, but it still looks kinda bad though. So I deleted everything and tried again. I quickly threw together a basic terrain. To add more detail, I also made a terrain shader, so I could have more than just grass. Then I scattered some details like flowers and rocks, and the environment was almost complete. For the finishing touches, I added some barricades. Anyway, back to making the Air Clan enemies. Starting with the Air Samurai. And what the hell is this? With that mess sorted, the Air Samurai was looking much better. I gave him 2 katanas and started animating. I wanted to make the air enemies fast, so this samurai has a combo attack with dashing. Besides that, he's got 2 more moves, a dash strike and a whirlwind. The visual effects for the whirlwind were once again achieved with shaders. For the sound of the whirlwind, I made 3 layers of noise: white noise, pink noise, and brownian noise. Then I added a bunch of effects, added some metal sounds, and the whirlwind sound was complete. With all of that sorted, the Air Samurai was done. Now for the last enemy, Air Ninja. At first I made this design, but I thought it didn't really fit an Air Ninja, so I put this model for later use. If you have ideas what this enemy could do, share them in the comments. Anyway, on my second attempt, I made a design I'm happy with. For the weapon, I made a big katana, or an O katana, and a knife for throwing. Some animating later, and the Air Ninja was ready to be put in the game. I made some effects for his unsheathability, then some sounds, and the Air Ninja was basically complete. So at this point, I finally made an indicator for unblockable attacks. For example, stab attacks and other special abilities. I also went back to the fire effects to make them more stylized. And I made the blood splats look more stylized as well. And the last change I made was giving the fire ninja a combo attack, because he's the only ninja that doesn't have it right now. So I made him a Yari, spear, and made a new attack animation, and with that the fire ninja was complete yet again. So with that I had made 8 new elemental enemies. In the next devlog I'll make a complete combat overhaul. I got some really nice feedback from the combat prototype. If you have some ideas on how I could improve the combat, share them in the comments. So, if you wanna see what comes next, subscribe. Anyway, bye.